What's up, guys? It's Anthony, Wrench Talk Garage. It's Garage News Time. All right, guys. So today we're going to be looking at the Harley Davidson lineup. And I'm going to just dive and kind of glaze through this as quick as I possibly can. It should be good, though. I want to see what these guys are up to. I haven't looked at their stuff in a little while. And if you don't know, I did own a Harley Davidson V-Rod. I've got my Sportster in the corner over there. A huge fan of Harley Davidson, have been for a very, very long time. So we're going to see what the boys over at Harley are up to today in this Garage News. But before I dive into that, let me get my computer ready to go. There we go. All right. Before I dive too much into that, one thing I will say that has just recently really caught my attention is the tracked vehicles, or really adapting your vehicle to be a tracked vehicle. If you guys don't follow it, I think I mentioned it in my last video. The guys over at Sparks Motor, or the Diesel Brothers, or Heavy D and Diesel Dave, those guys, they have featured a lot of different tracked vehicles on their YouTube channel. Check it out. I'll link it down below or try to link it above. But you guys got to check this out, because if you are a fan of off-road motorsports, such as the RZR or a four-wheeler or what have you, those guys show them and represent them in kind of a cool fashion. They've also done some crazy stuff with the Ford Raptors and a lot of their other builds, but it has just it's really piqued my interest because of the ability to transform a vehicle from your standard wheels and tires over to the tracks, and then getting them on the snow and ice and everything else. Kind of cool. I like it. Let's dive into some Harley Davidsons. Let's see. There is a new event coming. I don't know if it's out yet. I signed up for it. I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to catch up with these guys. We're going to be doing the same thing with the Polaris and with, Can-Am and a couple of other guys. And then I may go back and dive into each vehicle as its own. We're on the website here. Let's just take a look and see what they've got for street right now. Let's see, the 2020. So they haven't updated 2021 yet, which is interesting. Harley Davidson currently has the Street 750, the Street Rod, the Iron 883, the Iron 1200, the 48, and the Roadster, and that looks like their lineup. So the 750 starts at about $75.99. The Street Rod, and that looks just like a variation of the 750. I did see these in person. The streets anyways, right when they came out. I was doing a lot of stuff to my V-Rod at the time and was frequently going to the Harley Davidson dealer. In fact, when I owned it, I just like going down there, looking at parts, looking at some of the cool clothes and all of that stuff. Interesting lineup. The Sportster, and I may be wrong when I say this, but I believe is the longest running motorcycle that they have. They've been running it forever. I do like the way that they look. I know that there's this big Harley Davidson motorcycle thing. Sportsters are for girls or for new riders. I like the way they look, because to me it's a very minimalistic look. They're small, they're light, like my little 883 I have in the corner here. I appreciate it because it's like riding a BMX. Is it as cool as some of the bigger motorcycles? Is it as fast? No, not really. But it's still a great bike. And if you have a Sportster, good on you. I will say this about the Sportster, though. What I'm not a fan of is when it gets all this gear put on it. I don't like that, at all. I don't like saddlebags on a Sportster. I don't like the windshields. I think that is better suited for a bigger bike. I think aesthetically, from just an aesthetics look, I think the bike is smaller in size, and the way that it looks, I just really appreciate the minimalistic look that it has. And then when you put all that stuff on. It just doesn't look right, in my opinion. Now, obviously, there's reasons to throw saddlebags and windshields. I get that. And I'm not arguing the point of having that because you want to carry extra stuff. And then, of course, if you want a windscreen or what have you. That is their lineup, though. So they got 6 in the street category currently. Interesting. And then, yeah, okay. Interesting. Let's go to the... I'm going to cruise over the ELECTRA because we all know what that is. The LiveWire, I think it's $30,000. Wow. This was super cool. If you're not familiar with the LiveWire, it was featured in, I think it was Civil War, the superhero movie with some of the Avengers and whatnot. It was pretty cool as it debuted. Comes in 3 colors. I'm not going to dive too much into that one. Let's go to the Cruiser World. So Cruiser World to me is probably the most popular look, other than the baggers or the touring in the Harley Davidson world. I'm a huge fan of the cruiser look, the cruiser style. And they have quite a lineup. So let's run through this. So they got the SOFTAIL standard, which has been around for a while, coming in at about $13,500. You go up to the Street Bob, and you can, if you're looking at the screen here, you can aesthetically kind of see the differences in what Harley's doing as they kind of progress from this look over to this look over to this look, and then you just see it kind of getting more aggressive, in my opinion, to some degree. Street Bob, I've got a buddy with a Street Bob, great looking bike. I've seen several of these guys on the road. They're just like the quintessential cruiser. I mean, they just are. In my mind, when I think cruiser, I'm thinking something like a Street Bob, and then variations of it, or the SOFTAIL and variations of it. The Breakout, I've been a fan of for many years. I love the way that Harley styles the Breakouts. I think it's got a little bit of a tougher look, as you can see here, and they're not holding back. Obviously, as you go with this, the prices start and continue to go up. The Breakout's starting at $20,500. You got the SOFTAIL Slim. You got the Lowrider S. Lowrider S is a pretty cool looking bike. 18 grand. You got the Deluxe, the Sport Glide. The Sport Glides are nice looking bikes. That Fat Bob 114, that's a really cool looking bike. I like that. I like the fat tires. I like the dual exhaust. It's almost sporty, but not. It's looking good. And then, of course, you've got the FX DR 114. That's sick looking. Actually, that is. I really like that right there out of this lineup. Is probably my favorite looking bike. Wow. Coming in at about $19,000. Get the Fat Boy 114 also. I like the wheels on this guy. Yeah, I really do like that. So maybe we'll dive back into the FX DR 114. As you step up, depending on your riding abilities, your budget, I mean, that's where all of this comes in. I mean, you're gonna have preferences, especially if you're seeking a Harley Davidson. They've got plenty of options. Obviously, your dealer, and I've said this several times over, your dealer will have variations of what you're seeing here. And as you go into one of these, let me just jump in real quick to the FX DR 114. I'm not sure how many options you're going to have, but that is beautiful. So you got 5 color options. That's a beautiful bike. And then generally speaking, you can add different things. It depends, again, on where your dealer's located, what you have going on. But do your homework before you just show up at the dealer. I recommend this for every kind of vehicle. Kind of see what's going on. Are there other options that could come with the bike that you're seeing here that maybe your dealer doesn't have, but maybe a dealer in the town 20 miles, 50 miles away has, because you're committing and putting 13.5 up to whatever, 21,000, 20 and a half. You're putting that much money into it. You want to get the bike that you truly want. Also, a very important thing is to check the accessories that are available. Harley has their own accessory lineup, of course, but you've got so many huge aftermarket companies that produce parts for Harleys So if there's something specific, like if you wanted to take one of these style of bikes and turn it into a long, essentially a long road running vehicle, you may need or want some of these like hard style bags to carry the gear that you're going to need to carry. Or if maybe you want to turn it more into a show style bike and you want to chrome it out, you want to bling it up, check those accessories before you dive into it, because the one thing that is noticed with Harley, because of the variations in and their configurations, is depending on which model is essentially selling and doing very well will also depend on what is offered for the bike. So keep that in mind. Check out the accessories. I mean, you can just type in 2020 Softail Slim. I want to do, maybe you want to add a shitload of power to it. You can do that, obviously, depending on the engine displacement and what's available now. But make sure and do your homework, though, is all I'm saying. That's a nice lineup, I feel like, there. Then you got the touring, kind of the big boy bikes. I'm also a fan of these. I am not overly familiar from a personal standpoint. I've seen a bunch on the road. I've rode with guys with them. I personally haven't rode one. I'm a fan. I love it when they two-tone them, like this guy right here, that CVO Street Glide. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful bike. Yeah, quite a lineup. So again, here we'll start with the ELECTRA Glide coming in at 19, and then you just gradually go up. And again, when you're looking at this stuff, you can see just from looking at the photos, kind of as it progresses, some of the subtle changes between one to the next. And really it's the preference of, again, your budget, what your riding is going to be, and what your plans are. If you're only going up and down the street and this is what you want, more power to you. But I would definitely do my homework before jumping too far, and that's a really cool design. I like that. The new colors. They've got a ton of colors for the Road Glide Special, but you're starting at $28,000 with that guy, and obviously you can just go as far as you want. You can go up to the CVO Road Glide, $41,000, the Street Glide, $40,500, and crazy lineup. Really a nice looking lineup, and of course they've got their trike. So some trike options there. Let me go back to see all. So a couple of bikes I spoke about a while back in or here at the Rent Style Garage was their new adventure bike, which I'm not seeing. The Street Fighter, I'm not seeing. The LiveWire is cool to see that they actually have it out. But I'm wondering what they're doing with those. I'll have to investigate more to see kind of what's going on. But this essentially looks like the full lineup or so far, because there is an announcement coming again, and I believe that's going to be their adventure bike, maybe the Street Fighter. We'll have to see. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the 2020 lineup for Harley Davidson at this time. What do you guys think? Is there anything that sticks out to you? Maybe you're not a Harley fan. I understand that. But maybe you are. Maybe you're someone that's looking at a future vehicle to be a Harley. Again, just do your homework. You can also find a lot of used models at your local dealers, and it doesn't even have to be a Harley dealer. But what I would say, if you are, whether you're a new rider, selecting the right motorcycle is extremely important. Or if you're a seasoned rider and maybe you want to upgrade, just do your homework. And the easiest way to do that, again, is to just go to harleydavidson.com, kind of check out what the pricing is, what you're getting for that price range, because again, you may be fortunate enough to find one that maybe has 1,000 miles on it, 2,000 miles on it, 10,000 miles, whatever it is. But it is exactly what you like at the right price. That's the name of the game as far as I'm concerned when it comes to finding a vehicle like this. And of course, make sure you're familiar with it. Don't show up to the dealer if you've never rode a bike, and you want your first bike to be some crazy, the Fat Bob 114 or the FXDR 114. I would recommend probably going a different route, depending on, again, if you're brand new to it, I would try to stick in here. Budget friendly, a little easier to ride. But again, who am I to make your selection for you? Maybe you rode dirt bikes your whole life. I don't know. That is the 2020 Harley Davidson lineup. Thank you guys for tuning into the Wrenched Out Garage News here every Saturday. We're going to be going into details on a couple of these motorcycles here in the near future, but we also dive into trucks, cars, and so much more. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, drop a comment. I'd like to hear what you thought of the 2020 Harley Davidson lineup, and catch up with you guys in the next video.